suit.
I feel like they're those, like, you know, the button candies that you, like, peel off the paper?
Yep.
Maybe they just have those on, so, like, randomly in the middle of casting, they could just be like, who keeps walking by? Okay. They could just, like, you know, pick it off and eat it or something. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We spawning on Orbital Shipyard. It is Scarlett.
And her opponent in the top right-hand corner, playing for Team Euronics Gaming. Give it up for Nechio.
All right.
Nechio taking a deep breath. He might have taken a moment to kind of decompress after the craziness that was last game. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was a really long game, and Nechio may have felt like he had won it a lot earlier than he actually did, but, you know, the tenacity, the absolute perseverance of Scarlett.
Yeah, but we talked about that 14-14, man, and it looks like that's going to be what's going on coming here into this second map. Scarlett going to be the one going for that aggression, going for the throat against her opponent, Nechio, and it's going to be on him to defend, man, because he went for that very quick hatch first.
That he did, and luckily for him, he didn't go for that super greedy play. He's ahead by one game. There's really no reason to go for it like that, but here we go. You know, it is going to be, I would say, a pretty aggressive opener here. When does he actually see it, though? You know, you're going to go to the front here with your Overlord, and unless you're going to be taking, like, the front base, I just don't see him being able to scout it in time if he's actually going to go.
No, especially if Scarlett uses like clever paths to her lings, which she knows how to do. We already saw her open up with a lot of aggression against Shigwa, and she can juke out those Overlords no problem. And there's not going to be any alarm. There's no you know, what's the Revolutionary War thing? Like 2 by land, 1 by sea. Nechio has no lights lit.
Not at all. And this is usually not the way that you go. You know, he's maybe going to be able to see it with the Overlord here, which is going to be very nice, I would say.
Yeah, and I mean the Overlord's just sitting there in that little gap, so it's going to be a question of pixels as to whether or not Scarlett walks into that vision range. But she's continuing to wait for a moment. She's going to let her speed finish up, and then she's going to pile that aggression on.
Indeed, and hoping that Nechio just over-drones, but he's not. He got the Baneling Nest first. His lings are on the map, though, so that is something that he needs to be very careful of. Now is the moment of truth. He realizes what it is. The lings are desperately trying to get home, but he did make a few more at home. Very, very smartly done here, not to just blindly drone.
Yeah, but Scarlett's making a lot of banelings at the bottom of the ramp here. She's going to walk right up this main, and, oh man, Nechio's got banelings of his own finishing up. Scarlett's going to identify that they're going on. She goes straight into the natural, looking for any kind of drone or hatchery damage. She's going to need to split very well, and it looks like she is peeling off. Ooh, a couple of lings do fall to this, but oh my god. Tempo!
Wow.
Those banelings getting into the
Really
drones.
6 splits from Nechio, though. Whoa! Gonna be able to split nearly perfectly. Doesn't end up taking too much damage. Only 3 drone kills, and how many banelings was that? Like, at least 4 in the mineral line.
Yeah, that actually like could have been game-ending damage, and Nechio just responded perfectly, never losing his cool, and that puts him in a terrific position here.
Oh yeah, man, it's gonna be up to Scarlett to try to get a little bit of damage done here to try to at least, I would say, just cut her losses and say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I can kind of equalize a tiny bit, but
Nechio just so on point with this defense, but actually, if
Whoa.
he's not,
okay, gonna be a pretty sick hit there.
So that's not all it takes to equalize here, but that's a start. That will allow any lings she has left, which I guess aren't really any, to try to get some damage done.
Well, at least he did take the hatchery here, and she's down by 9 drones. Oh, such a brutal position to be in. Nechio gonna take full advantage of that by going for the lair. Realizing that Scarlett, most likely a player, realizing the position she's in, and is probably going to be droning up after that.
Yeah, now Nechio going to be stepping out onto this map once again. The Queen waddles down, going to try to picking off that Overlord, but Nechio's moving across the map with slow lings.
That's going to be pretty funny, actually. Yeah,
Scarlett's
going to go. We might as well use them, right? I don't think they're going to do too much at home.
No, with slow lings you can defend with a really low baneling count, just especially if you have like 4 or 5 speedlings buffering, just because you can never actually take the engagement with the lings, keep pulling your speedlings away, and then use the banelings to threaten anything that he might do. But Nechio's waddling an even slower baneling across the map. He wants to make something happen here.
Yeah, I mean, they could be there to escort the lings too, because Scarlett could jump on top of these slow lings and be able to at least take them out.
Yeah, and she's doing a good job of just trying to peel off one ling to get right on top of that baneling, but every time the lings of Nechio do turn around and defend, and they're just kind of trading blows, doing that dance that it's like, you've got the APM, why not try to annoy your opponent, basically?
Exactly. So Scarlett gonna do her best to harass the third base here of Nechio, but I think she should try to prioritize also getting into the main, just to see where he's gonna be going with this game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough, I think, though.
But it looks like Nechio going to be sending down some more drones. He wants to take his gases on those third. Scarlett trying to make something happen. She's peeling off just a couple of lings. Actually could get a baneling here, which is a nice little pickup. It's going to force Nechio to remake him, spend some of that gas that he wants to be spending on the mutas as that Spire finishes up. And Scarlett's doing the best she can to make things happen for herself.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, it's very, very nice of her to try that. But Nechio's Spire is going to be finishing up. He's taking relatively small economic damage. And Scarlett, you know, she doesn't know about it. There's really nothing here to tell her. Aside from the gases being taken, if she was paying attention at the third, she can assume that it will be mutas. But
you know what? That Hydralisk Den is on the way. Hydralisk Den, like in terms of Zerg tech buildings, builds very fast. So she could have her first Hydras popping out as mutas start to come across the map, but it's going to be important to see if she goes like straight into pure Hydra, or if it's just kind of a safety den.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out very shortly here, Joe. I believe the mutas are going to be on the way. There are 7. Nechio dropping down the Road Sworn and the Evo Chamber behind it. So here it is. It's been discovered. Scarlett going to be making a few Hydras, but I mean, we saw what she tried to do last time. If you're not careful, you are going to lose every single Hydra, lose every single Queen, and then kind of slowly lose the game from there.
Yeah, but Scarlett did send that Overseer in at like pretty much the perfect time, and you know what? She's not taking any chances like she did with that game with Shigwa. She's adding spores all over the place. She's got Queens underneath it. These spores will get the chance to finish, and I think Scarlett's in a position to take very little damage to this muta aggression.
Yeah. So here they come into the base of Scarlett. There's one Hydra holding it down, but I mean, it's not going to be enough. A lot of drones are going to be stacking up, which means that, of course, that Glaive Worm is going to be really effective, but she's doing a nice job here, minimizing her losses.
Yeah, absolutely doing the best she can. She's splitting up good with these queens, trying to surround both sides. And actually, those Mutalisks are a bit pinned in by the spores. He's got to eat some tennis balls of doom for free, and that's unfortunate for Nechio.
I mean, it's a few that he can lose here in order to kind of put Scarlett back even more. But when that Hydra count does get up to a decent amount, I think she will be able to deal with the mutas, but unfortunately for her, the mutas aren't really what she needs to worry about. It is going to be the follow-up, you know. Lurker Den already on the way for Nechio. He has +1. Road Speed has just now completed at the same time, and he's even adding a few Hydras of his own. Obviously, they will turn into Lurkers at some point, but even if he were to defend, he would have some pretty nice DPS army.
Yeah, and it's just very scary here out of Nechio. Scarlett, she, like you said, she's gonna clean up these Mutalisks, but the next army's gonna be almost impossible for her to deal with, man.
So, I believe when you don't see mutas being added, unless you're pooling them, something that Scarlett has been known to do, then you don't need to worry as much about the Hydra count unless you are going to be going for Lurkers yourself. And if Nechio doesn't hit with a Hydra, or rather like a Lurker timing, it can kind of extend into, oh my god, so many workers just going down, you know, over time.
Yeah, she's doing a good job of remaking the workers as she loses them, but she wants to be spending her larva on army, man. She's sick of rebuilding her economy. She's going to reburrow that Spore Crawler into a position that should prevent the mutas from stepping out once again. And I think she needs to go into Lurkers, like, immediately.
Yeah, but does she have the time to do it? Nechio's pushing across the map. And what I was saying is that if we let this game go into the later stages of the mid/late game, Lurkers can delay a game for a long time. And, rip. But yeah, they can delay the game for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, this is a really nice time for Nechio to be hitting, though, because Scarlett's Lurker Den just finished. She's actually got 6 Morphing Lurkers. If she can hold on, if she can delay the engagement for just a moment, she needs to buy herself maybe 30 seconds here for those Lurkers to get burrowed. Then she might be in a position where she can take this fight defensively.
Yeah, I mean, if she's able to get them down, Corrosive Bowels can still hit them, especially if Nechio knows where it is, but he's going to go for it. There are a lot of Lurkers here for Scarlett. Roaches and those Ravagers are going to be pushing on in, and there's not a lot of Lurkers. There are a few, though, and I believe that the detection was taken out. The Lurkers are going to hang on the outside here for Nechio. Even a counterattack going down.
Yeah, that was actually, like, very cost-efficient for Scarlett.
I'm wondering if she's going to be able to draw the game out. I mean, the 4th base has not been taken by her, but that was really good.
I think she just needs more roaches to buffer. She's adding in Hydras, which are great for that DPS, and obviously some of those are going to be morphed into Lurkers, but Nechio was able to get right on top of those Lurkers just because there was very little to tank.
It's a very scary situation when the 4th base is already being mined from here by your opponent. Feeling like you're a bit locked into your own base. Like last time, it's only going to go on for until you starve out. So if you can kind of secure the locations here with the Lurkers and be able to secure your 4th and 5th base, sure, I kind of feel like that's okay to go into. But this map, you know, once you get past your 4th base, it's going to be so hard to hold down multiple locations.
Yeah, especially with like the anti-mobile composition that Scarlett's having to use to survive. And it's always important to keep in mind that Nechio has that Spire in his back pocket, man. So like he can always switch back into that.
Oh, you are right. Yeah. That could actually be a pretty big factor, especially when you start to focus so much on your Lurkers. You're not going to have any anti-air. So sniping the Overseer is actually a really important thing to do, and mutas allow you to do that as well. Ooh.
Yeah, Scarlett is out here with her her Overseer. She's trying to get the pick on 1 or 2 of those Lurkers, but Nechio knows what's up. He's got his army in the correct position to defend this. I love these like just burrowed.
It's a contain. Yeah, it's effectively a contain here, and just wants to pretty much starve Scarlett out. Lurkers.
Ooh, but actually, what does Nechio have at home? Because this is a pretty big run by coming out of Scarlett.
Just a few static defense. Oh, he does have some roaches in those Lurkers, though.
What does he have at home? A big army. But if he's not paying attention, she could surround a Lurker and try to pick it off. But instead, she's going for that economic damage, getting into the mineral line of Nechio. Once again, the Ling's kind of derping around in the minerals as she streams into the main base here, looking for whatever damage she can. It looks like this queen at least should be forfeit.
Yep. And it goes down. Really nicely done here from Scarlett. Able to kind of make the best out of a less than ideal situation. She's only mining off of 3 bases. Nechio starting to take the map. But if he... Yeah, if Nechio is not careful, Scarlett breaks the contain. She has a great bank at the current moment, but it's more about the late game of taking the 4th. Start to take this game a little bit slower, you know. Force Nechio to make some mistakes here.
She's got the hive tempo. And so she's going to be on equal or nearly equal tech footing with Nechio, which is nice because this series she's just been so behind in tech every single time she tries to go up with Nechio, and having it a bit closer this game, I think that could be helpful for her.
Oh, bit of an exposed location on the left side. Another kind of contain here, not letting that static defense come out, but Scarlett, having those rocks down, is able to go in between where her 4th and her 3rd are. Oh, this is so, like, a slow kind of pushing. I don't even know how to, like, call those, but
beautiful corrosive so good files. Yeah, and I love what Nechio's doing with the Overseers, providing high ground vision so the Lurkers can hit from the low ground. Really clever positioning here from our Polish Zerg, but Scarlett could use those corrosive files to try to zone this army out, and this is a huge run by tempo.
Well, it's a gigantic run by indeed, and, you know, it might actually free up some supply, because look at that, boys and girls. 6 Ultralisks are going to be on the way. And I honestly don't know how Ultras fare in Lurker fields, but I don't think they do the greatest, especially if you don't have the vision.
Yeah, it's all about the counts, man. I mean, Ultras are one of those units that they can eat a few waves of Lurker shots, cut down that defending army, and help everything get on top of the Lurkers.
That's more what it's
But if there's a big enough buffer, and the Ultras have to sit there fighting the Roaches for too long, then it doesn't go so well, generally.
No, I just don't know about that. You know, 8 Ultras... Yeah. Maybe with some static defense. I just don't think Scarlett realizes that it is going to be that. That's the only issue. So they're going to surprise her.
Oh yeah, definitely catch her off guard, and obviously they can't be abducted or anything like that.
Nope.
So those Vipers not going to be that useful.
Yeah. So this is a interesting choice. I always feel like when you go for ultras, it's like you take your economic advantage and you just dump them into these big, super clunky units that can either just totally make this look like a joke or really set you behind if these lurkers are able to just get some really nice hits on them.
Yeah, Scarlett continuing to add on run by aggression here. Knowing these Lings aren't really going to do anything against the Ultras, so instead she's going to use them to put the damage onto Nechio's own base. There's a Lurker in the middle line, very nice. But here's the big fight.
Yep. Oh, those blinding clouds are not going to help you here, really, aside from those few Lurkers. But here come the Ultras. They are taking a lot of damage, but I think it's going to be enough to pull on through. They are pushing through, but so many of them have fallen. Like, if you look at the units lost, I believe it would probably be in the favor of Scarlett, perhaps, here. But is it going to be enough?
Yeah, that one Ultra is very, very, very low. Scarlett has very few units left to fight with, though. This is a very uncomfortable position. Nechio pounding that damage on from behind, and Scarlett is just looking for any opportunity to create economic damage, to create chaos. She wants to hang in. She doesn't want to go out down to that deciding match. She wants to win.
Not touch this Ultra. Oh, like, this is sad.
We surrounded him, sir. And he's like, yeah. So? You said Lings are supposed to do well with surface area. I'm an Ultralisk.
I don't even know what surface area is.
Oh,
it's
man.
too big to get any.
Yeah.
So that was sick. Scarlett has a lot of minerals here, and yeah, even like spine crawler walls would have been better in that situation, but she got surprised there, and it was just like, oh, Ultras, okay. I think it might have been able to actually break her here, though.
Yeah, but here we go. The Lurkers rather of Scarlett are going to burrow into position. Blinding Cloud's actually preventing those Lurkers from behind of Nechio of firing, but these Ultras are the deciding factor here as he charges up this ramp, gets on top of all of Scarlett's Lurkers, and there's just so little defensively left for our Canadian player. She's kiting as best she can with the Hydras. The Spine Crawler Wall going to do some damage with the Ultras, slowing them down, derping that AI, but there's just no fighting units left from Scarlett.
GG. Nechio takes it 2-0 and will advance to the round of 8 over Scarlett here.